And a very warm welcome back to the stadium here in Romania for live coverage of the Bucharest Major, the 9th major in history. Are we going to get a 4th team win, finally, break that run of 3 teams only winning majors? OG, of course, having won 4 majors previously. They aren't in this particular tournament any longer. They went out in the first part of the stage, in the group stages. But we do have the other 2, Secret and Virtus Pro, are both still in. But Secret are hanging by a thread right now as we go back into game number 2 against Newbee. The draft is just around the corner. We're going to get some thoughts from Jack and Cap as we head towards that second game. Cap, in a way, have Secret kind of shown their hand in the first game, or do you think they've got plenty of tricks up their sleeve?
No. This is Team Secret you're talking about. This is a team that wants to be able to win these drafts, and I think this is a team that has shown a whole lot of versatility when it comes to hero picks, even if we can describe their playstyle in most of the season as being pretty slow. They've always had those kind of heroes that they can pull up that give them an advantage. And as we're seeing here at this tournament, in their best of ones, even at the end of ESL 1 Katowice, that they were trying to pick up the pace a little bit, and they tried it here, didn't work out against Newbee. I would actually like to see Team Secret go back to a slower lineup that I feel is definitely their strongest suit and they look most well practiced at.
Okay, draft has begun, and we so far have got the same 4 bands. Jack, what are you expecting?
Well, I want to say that for Puppy is the type of captain with that supreme confidence who will say, you know what, we just didn't play well that game. You know, I'd be confident repeating the same draft. But in this case, he's not going to give up that knock in this game. Again, targeting Kaka's hero pool very heavily, I thought that they would do more of this in the band's last game as well.
Yeah, it kind of switched focus in phase 2, didn't it? Because they needed an offlaner and they kind of focused KP's pool a little bit more.
I do wonder if, as these teams are addressing Gyrocopter more and more, if he's going to continue to be seen in that 1-2 pickup.
Yeah, he's a hard ban in phase 2. That's the problem, isn't it? That's why teams have started picking him up earlier.
So none of the questionable supports are still left out there, I think. All the really big playmaking type ones like the ET and Naga.
Yep, Bane, Chen.
What if they just
gone?
grabbed the AA or Enchantress this game? And a lot of synergy from the AA and the Enchantress can provide a lot of pressure onto some of these lane supports.
What about the Razor, the hero that has been left out there this time around?
There's 2 broken heroes out there.
All right.
So Secret go for the Gyro.
Doubling down on the Gyrocopter, feeling like the Naga Siren, which is true, the way she interrupts what you want to be able to do as a hero was
Very
too
annoying.
disruptive, but they could still make it work. I would actually love to see Newbee pick up a Razor in this game. I feel like it does okay versus the Gyro.
See whether they decide to pick up a core in this first 2. They don't always.
And I also wonder if they value the Underlord enough to be able to pick it up in the first 1-2, or if they feel like Underlord and Tide, again, very similar heroes, one of them will still be available for them in that third 4.
So come back for the Faith Disruptor again. And usually this would be a core.
Maybe Omni is still out there as well against the Gyrocopter. We've also seen how Gyrocopter really likes having Omni on his team as well. But then again, we're talking about picking up our offlaner pretty early.
Yeah.
There was a detriment to that in our previous series.
It also means Secret can just easily slot the Rubik in round 1 if they want.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, if they're afraid it'll get banned and they want to just go for it right away, they could just try to pick up a lifestealer here, but it's a bit early to usually reveal who your safe lane core is going to be.
There's also Bounty if you want to be able to play like the information game against Team Secret. Because they've picked up this Gyrocopter, because they want to be fighting, information is definitely the name of the game. It's a big smoke stopper too.
Okay. So the Brew.
Again, with the value of flexible core picks early on, you have something that does provide some pressure in lane if you put it against the Gyro, or at least slows down the Gyro a bit, and you can put this hero in all 3 lanes.
That'll be that man's hero, presumably.
Yeah, again, we said it in the TNC series where the Gyrocopter just doesn't really do a whole lot against this Brewmaster. The Brewmaster in laning phase also is a detriment to Gyrocopter's CSing. But if he gets off his ultimate, like, what are you supposed to do as a Gyrocopter? These Brewlings just kind of run at you, and your magic damage isn't going to be useful there. So if you're Team Secret, then you want to be the ones always kind of initiating. You want to make sure that...
Yeah, I did wonder whether they would potentially go for this raise. It's almost certainly going to get banned in phase 2, so they've picked up 2 cores very early. They're not immune to this though, Cap, are they?
No. So is this going to be the Fodder Razor, and they're going to try and match it up against the Brewmaster in some way?
I mean, that's part of the reason they picked it now, surely, is that flexibility, because they do run it in a number of different ways.
Yeah, and they can still do like an Ace Razor and then some sort of mid gyro. I don't know, I wasn't like a terribly big fan of the way TNC opened with their 1-2 cores, but I also thought the synergy of Gyro and Omni Knight would just kind of overcome that disadvantage. They didn't. Here, I don't really feel like there's the same synergy for Razor and Gyrocopter. They occupy the same zone when it comes to their farming. They are both kind of lane dominators who want to be able to quickly move out of the laning phase by level 6, level 7, start moving around, start getting kills. Neither one is fantastic at being able to take objectives. That was a big problem for Team Secret in Game 1 as well.
Yeah, it's a bit uncommon now to see 2 cores picked up straight up in the first phase. Again, it really just exposes you a little bit. Your cores, a lot of answers for them. You can start banning to even protect some of these heroes if you want. Just one core that comes to mind here is like a sniper, and they can, if they want to, they can start building around protecting that or removing threats to it.
You know what? Because of the Razor, they actually don't have to ban Lifestealer here, presumably because they have one of the better counters against it.
Yeah, they've continued focusing on the off lane and supports with a Rubik and a Beast removed.
Yeah, again, the Viper ban by Team Secret really shows you
Makes
that
sense.
they do feel like that.
Yeah.
That was a strong counter to the Gyrocopter, because technically Razor doesn't hate Viper too much.
10 seconds remaining. Newbee's turn to pick.
While Newbee have they kind of have, because of the Panda kind of needs Blink Dagger, or his ultimate is a very long cooldown, their teamfight readiness is not exact, but all these Disruptor lineups, they usually want to be the aggressors, right? You want to be able to take the teamfight to the enemy team and be able to get the glimpse back. Panda does enable that, but I still think they need some other reinforcements when it comes to their early to mid-game focus to make sure that a Gyrocopter Razor can't simply just run at them all the time. And there is not a whole lot of those early game heroes left, with a Viper banned, the Razor taken. So I'm kind of wondering what they're going to be able to get out of their safe lane or mid that they feel comfortable with against both of these heroes.
You mentioned earlier, Jack, the Earth Spirit from Kaka hasn't been received that well recently in China.
He
Been a
hadn't-
few
he hadn't
criticism.
played- there was a period of time, yeah, because of his itemization, I guess. He would usually go for Eels or Force Staff, and it was felt that he didn't play the hero as aggressively.
And then there's pick for Secret, Cap.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Skywrath Mage, they've picked it a number of times. I've seen it here and there.
It's usually Yapsor.
Yeah, it's like one of those heroes that zones out the Brewmaster really well because you're just all damage. You don't really need to right-click. That being said, I think Newbee may help him out with the Earth Spirit up in there in the top lane, something like that. You need maybe a DK type hero. Doesn't feel the greatest against Razor, but it's been picked before. Chaos Knight is another carry for Newbee that, while they may not run it, I've seen it a number of times against Gyrocopter and Razor. The Death Prophet, SCC.
May have a chance to be a little bit more flashy.
Yeah, and there's still an OD left in there as well to
Yep.
potentially deal with these cores. A lot of choices that they have.
10 seconds remaining.
Death Prophet again. We've seen this put on SECC more for tempo reasons, but also as a lane matchup, this is another hero that can kind of go in different lanes and not have to worry too much. Pretty good sustain.
Hey, what were we saying earlier?
Yeah.
So, is this an Ace Wraith or is it a Puppy Wraith?
I'm pretty sure this is going to be a mid-one gyrocopter. It's going to be an Ace Wraith King.
Okay.
And a Fada Racer. I have not seen a whole lot, or any rather, support Wraith King, unless I missed a pro game or something. But I'm not seeing
Puppy
it in clubs or anything.
Puppy
like
has
that.
a couple of games on it.
Yeah. So they are, holy cow, super early game focus with this team.
Yeah, if this goes wrong, it's going to go badly wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, they need to be able to win lanes, but I think the last time they picked up Wraith King, if my memory serves me, it was up against like one of those like void lineups or something, you know, where you just didn't care about going in the front line and dying.
We also
Death
saw
Prophet is kind of like
Wraith in the group stage, which was the Vici Pain game, I think.
Yeah, I think it's more likely to be a support Wraith King, actually,
Yeah,
for Puppy.
I do too.
You have the synergy with the cores. Again, this is a hero that isn't... You pick it often against combo or against big ultimates because they have to overcommit to kill you and you still come back and provide the same utility.
That was an old combination, Wraith King, Skywrath Mage, because you have a support that managed to give you a stun. I'm a bit skeptical on it, but the only reason I'm down with it is simply because, I mean, leaving a support for last pick is kind of weird. And
Yeah, so Puppy did actually play the Wraith King in Katowice recently against Infamous. They also played it against LGD, but then Ace used it, and that's kind of why I was thinking that they can play it both ways, and I wondered whether they threw this in there to throw Newbee off, actually to make them think that it was a core.
I must have completely missed that match.
It's okay, you had to snooze that game.
Newbee definitely have made that read, though. Their Underlord ban.
Yeah, yeah, they're not falling for that one. But they can still switch it. So, final ban.
Team Secrets turn to Newbee's turn to
Okay.
pick.
We're going to bring out a Tide. So, Newbee read that one well. And that does make it a support Wraith.
I still feel like the OD
Maybe.
would be a good pickup for them here.
OD against the Tide, nice
10 seconds remaining.
single carry for them. I'm kind of okay with that.
5 seconds remaining.
I think they want to be able to focus on shoving out waves because Team Secret have so much fighting power. I'd be a little bit scared in fighting into this one too much.
You may now
And the Luna comes back out for Newbee. So 3 games in a row today we've had the Luna. Not had it at all at the tournament so far. And suddenly it's become the meta pick in the last 3 games. The draft is done. Game 2 is just around the corner, which means we need some predictions. And that's going to be quite tough, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think the Wraith King is going to play really well into this game. I don't know. It's something about the fact that he's just able to play into that front lines, can soak up, the Death Prophet damage, can soak up the Luna damage as well.
Did we see whether it was going to be a support at the end there?
Yeah. I'm
It is?
certain it is.
Okay. All right.
The fact that Tidehunter is a decent pipe hero for you, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Secret. I was really skeptical about their opening and their 4th pickup, but Secret.
Okay, all right. Well, Capitalist has gone for Secret. Jack?
Yeah, it feels like they can probably just outlast this Newbee lineup in a lot of these fights. But I think Newbee playing really well right now. I think Secret may once again have trouble in lane based on the draft picks. And so I'm going to go with Newbee for this game as well.
You
Have
just
you
want to
got
pull
another
out your
shirt?
I got a
Have you
shirt
really
for
got
this
another
occasion.
shirt? How many shirts have you got behind there? Has he got like the PGL shop or
Well,
something?
there's no more Chinese teams left, so I have a feeling Jack may be out of shirts.
Yeah, well, all right, fair enough. So Jack has gone for the other team, Newbee, and this particular one, and obviously Cat went for Secret. Let's find out as we head into game number 2. A lot on the line right now. A place in the semi-final up for grabs for Newbee if they can win this one, but of course Secret want to tie things up. Let's head back to Trent and Ziori for game number 2.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's a pleasure to be here for game number 2 of Secret versus Newbee, and once again, we'll see Luna. Trent, what are you thinking? Which draft do you favor?
She's back, baby. I mean, if you're picking Wraith King, it must be good, right? How can you go against a puppy Wraith King? So let's get right into it, because they're already rocking and rolling, running around here. They're smoked up from Newbee.
Absolutely.
But they're going back the other way. They're pulling a Yui. All right, back we go.
Maybe. Mid one's going to be on the high ground here, so we'll have a great position to try to break the smoke and scout it out, potentially. The Death Prophet loses hers. So it's going to be a tough rotation for Newbee to execute, but they're dropping a lot of pings. And mid one,
stuck.
the good spot is going to backfire, and now he's the one that gets initiated on, but Secret have reinforcements. KP taking a lot of damage, but First Blood's drawn his fate, finishes off mid one. Now Kaka goes down in return. It's a 1-for-1. KP stunned up, but they want Puppy, and they find him. Newbee getting the better of this early First Blood exchange over the Bounty Rune. They will head back to friendly territory after trading 2-1. But oh, wait, it's a Newbee fake back, Trent. They want this bounty as well.
Well, it was the best of scouting spots and suddenly the worst of scouting spots all at once.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was a good read from Newbee, right? Obviously aware of that position, wrapping around with a few made it very hard for that gyrocopter to read exactly how the rotation would go.
Yeah, but Kaka just so quick early on. Means he's going to get to that third bounty rune before they can rotate back up from Secret. But it does look like they will get the matchups they want. Ace is going top. He'll be against the Brewmaster. And then they're going to try and play a little bit of a trio dodo down bottom with the Tide. And a couple risky supports, a Skywrath Mage and a Wraith King. So
definitely unconventional, right?
Yep.
We don't really get to see the Skywrath Mage all too often. I think this hero is the definition of a glass cannon. 0 starting armor, paper thin to physical damage, but if he gets the initiation, the burst can be huge.
yeah, one thing that's nice here is that they are punishing bot, right? They're putting all this pressure, and Earth Spirit wants to just roll on mid. You can see Kaka's there. He's waiting for it. He's got a nice little Death Prophet, but until SCCC has the Spirit Siphon, it's not going to be quite as effective, and that's just too long for Kaka. He has to rotate bot just to make sure there's no plays onto Mugi. But I think with like Clockwork falling off, you kind of look for these heroes up against the Brewmaster to try and shut down that ultimate, and that ginormous silence from the Ancient Seal is basically going to be your answer instead of the Clockwork.
Yeah, one of the classic counters to Brewmaster in that regard, and oftentimes Disruptor comes up, but obviously on the same team this go around. The aggro try will commence, and they're going to put some damage onto Faith. Follow-up won't be there for a kill. This is a pretty angry tri-lane for both sides, already a lot of damage being exchanged. Trent, I'm curious what you think about the Puppy Wraith King. Do you believe in the support Wraith King?
As Paul mentioned, he did play it recently over Cavice, but maybe a little bit of an easier game, perhaps, playing up against some of the weaker teams during the tournament, so maybe testing it out a little bit, but I don't know. He's got a nice lead-off stun, right? Something that not a lot of position ones have, so it kind of allows him to transition over into the support role, and then those skeletons, man, they can farm pretty fast. You get a couple of those guys built up, you might be able to catch up somewhere, get yourself that Blink Dagger and a couple more items.
Kaka gonna walk just a bit too far forward, and this could be a kill going the way of Secret, and indeed it is.
Yeah, nice plays there. 2-2. Puppy just ensuring there was no rollout potential there.
Very nice. Yeah, that Wraith King stun, not just a stun, but also the tapering slow on top of that, so it does fit the bill for a strong support. Yapzor and Kaka kind of going at it, but it will be the Earth Spirit able to grab that invisibility rune.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny tri-lane that Newbee have been forced into here, right? Like Luna, a legendary hero in the tri-lanes. Oh, that aura, how good it is early on with the blessing. Disruptor, does not enjoy the old try-on-try, and then well, the third one's even worse, it's an Earth Spirit, but he's making the plays now from Kaka, a legendary hero for him, but they're on Mugi.
Yeah, they're going to go 1-for-1. Mugi falls first and Puppy second. Now it's Faith on the run, but a nice roll from Kaka. They might be able to bring down this big bad Tide. He does have one more anchor smash, and that's going to stop the damage output from this Earth Spirit. Now on the way, it's Mugi that's respawned. He'll try to repel Yapzor, but it won't be successful, and now a double kill secured for this Skywrath Mage.
Oh, and he wants a little bit more there. Some more pressure on the Mugi. Puppy, he's not that crazy.
This is brutal.
You know, he didn't ban Naga in game 1. That was a little crazy, but he's not that crazy. He's not going to dive that tower, I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking as we have a moment here at the other lanes mid, seems to be favored for the Death Prophet up against mid one's Gyrocopter. Fairly standard build here, not too much kill potential without rotations, but surely Newbee will be happy with that. And then up top, it's the Razor versus Brewmaster. Definitely a Razor favored matchup. Pretty much any melee, as we just saw, stealing that damage. But Brew, he's got some presence in the lane. He's still got 14 last hits, 7 denies. Yeah. It's better than a lot of other lanes we've seen for Brewmasters in games past.
It should start falling off, though. Like, the level 1 static link is definitely awful, but once you get up to level 2, that's when you start really taking some of that damage away, and KP just play a little bit cautiously. But if they're so busy bottom with the 2 supports from Secret, maybe you just want to keep playing as aggressive as possible, as KP just saying, you kind of need the support to kill me. So I don't want to give you too much space.
Well, fairly passive early game now that this try-on-try has settled down. It's actually been broken up for Newbee. The Earth Spirit has made the rotation up to the top lane. Seems that Newbee have made the call to try to find a gank on Ace.
Look where Puppy is just waiting too, like from that one moment onto Moogie, a single step out of position, he'll just be instantly gone on.
Yeah, great positioning in the
looks to
tree
be
line.
it.
Here it is, Gush to start things off. The follow-up Wraithfire Blast, Kinetic Field from Fate's Disruptor will slow things down just enough that Moogie's able to make it back under the tower. Difficult for Secret to find those kills with the current lane positioning.
Just pull the weight back a little bit for themselves though. And
Mid one in some trouble here. SCCC, is this a kill? It sure is, my friend. That's a Crypt Swarm to bring him down, and now Death Prophet has kind of shifted the tides in this mid that felt a little bit more like a wash just moments ago.
32-7 to 17-1. Gonna miss out on some of this experience too with the tower taking down these creeps. Wow. Very rough there from
It's a little early to pull up that net worth tab, but he is a full 1,000 net worth ahead of the next leading farmer, who is the Razor. That is absolutely insane at the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, and you expect that to happen if like Kaka's shadowing mid a bunch or something like that, but hasn't really been necessary.
And now in the bottom lane, Faith again initiated on. The trio of Secret heroes have way too much damage for that Disruptor to handle. Paper thin himself, he will take a tumble. Now up towards the top lane, it's Ace versus 2. The level 5 Razor is on the run.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the other way.
He might not be able to kill, but at the very least, he can't really be gone on until they rotate up SCCC, who has the phase boots after that kill in the mid, so extremely quick. And mid one, very happy he didn't come back to his lane.
And now in the bottom, Puppy actually getting initiated on. Faith gets that kill, but Fata wants to find some vengeance for his fallen comrade. Moogie with a very aggressive posture is going to push back the tide, fighting over the bounty rune. Fata is able to pick it up. He's got stick charges and fused raindrops, but he will get glimpsed back. Faith with the kinetic field, maybe needs to be a little bit careful, but that tide is just too tanky for Newbee to handle at the moment. Haste rune secured by Faith. He will head back to friendly territory.
Yeah, and Fata does still get the bounty rune there with his bottle, so he'll be all right. Healing himself back up. And 3 heroes mid as Ace comes for the party. And, well, SCCC, he's just going to ult top. He's saying, okay, head on mid. KP can hold this wave, try and pull it back, but dangerous with the call down. Split not quite ready.
Faith loses the haste rune and will get brought down. Yapzor able to finish him off with a stray arcane bolt. Secret happy with that pickoff, and now they're actually putting some pressure
got 4 heroes here,
on this mid tier 1 tower themselves. I mean, it's a good play from the Death Prophet to try to get a tower herself, but Secret trying to strike
the skeletons
early.
are here.
Yeah, great siegers that they are. Wraith King turning back to the Skeleton King, Trent. We've gone full meta with this hero.
Careful now.
Anyhow, down bottom, this is good for Moogie. You know, not an ideal lane against the Tidehunter, but much better than that try-on-try we were experiencing moments ago. Secret continuing to stay aggressive as Faith, kind of wandering through his own jungle, bumps into Ace, and gonna have to head for the hills.
Yeah, Secret very happy with that trade, though. Yeah, they lost top, but Death Prophet, you know, you spent your ulti for it, can't do much more during that downtime. You got the mid lane. Takes away a little bit more of the this kind of safety of your own side, and instantly rotating down bottom. They're just playing kind of like Newbee was last game, right? Very early group up. In fact, this is much earlier still. The Newbee managed to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely the smart idea. As we talked about last game, you want to try to pressure Luna, but also getting these early towers just helps the Secret team grab some of that momentum. However, Brewmaster is level 6, will use the split to mount the defense, and wrapping around the backside, it's the Earth Spirit.
Kaka.
They find him, and they'll bring him down.
He walked blind right into him.
Kind of a missed opportunity for Newbee. They will drop the stun onto Fata. That's the boulder toss from the Brew split. Isolating Ace with the Cyclone. So they go 1 for 1. I guess it's an advantage for Newbee. They lose a support, and they end up killing the offlaner.
Yep, fine for them. They defend the tower. And 30 more seconds until Exorcism is back. So they could continue to push here, but if there's too many heroes from Secret, or if they're not feeling confident enough without the ultimate from KP, they can just back it off. But yeah, so very irritating with his build. He went this the last time, I believe he played the Sports Guy with as well. He just maxes that concussive shot. Yep, constantly spamming over and over. A little bit of damage, a nice amount of slow. And think about how much time that's going to give for Ace, as well as mid one during engagements. Kind
of a cool build from Yapzor also. He's going first item Kaya after the Magic Wand. Doesn't even have boots yet.
Yeah, not something you really consider when you think about like support heroes, but obviously works very well on this hero. Int, scaling into your damage, pretty important.
Yeah, and on that same note, this Death Prophet with all this early farm, not rushing the Yule Scepter, but actually picked up the Hooded Defiance first item after this set of Null Talons. Another Exorcism deployed in the mid lane. But the defense, will it be mounted?
Nice.
Gyrocopter taking huge damage as mid one falls. It's now a mega kill streak for SCCC, but KP will go down to Yapzor in the meantime.
Yeah, sandwiched in there with Faith rotating. So again, a Brewmaster without ultimate, so not a absolutely massive cost, but they're still here. A couple of heroes from the side of Secret.
Yep, Glyph will slow things down a little bit.
Always the threat of Ravage too here.
That's true. Ty did just ding level 6, but Fata down in the bottom lane.
He's up there now. He's a big boy. Fat anchovy. Oh, he'll just head up, back up top.
Yeah, Fata rotating through the jungle, maybe looking for an opportunity. Okay, Faith just working on ancient stacks right now. Luna versus Gyrocopter once more. Stacks are going to be a huge part of this game, no doubt.
Kaka slowed down here, but I think he's going to be all right. Rolls himself up there and even gets the stun on the fire to make sure there's no follow-up gush. So KB with the ulti.
And interestingly enough, even though Newbee had what felt like a fantastic start with this Death Prophet dominating mid, still really high on the net worth chart, it's Secret that are really hanging in there. They had a small net worth edge just a moment ago. And this game is very even right now, Trent.
Yeah, see if Mugi commits into any of the same choices up here, right? It's not sure what he's going to do, but I think the more downtime and space they hand over to Secret seems a little bit better, right? Again, very greedy supports in terms of the Wraith King and the Skywrath Mage. So Kaya, hopefully, going to get some boots for Yapzor, as you were discussing before. He has it ready. And it's all just a matter of the ultimates. We've talked a lot in terms of like China and the Death Prophet and how well they play it in that region. They just always go right when that ulti is needed.
Roll onto Ace, the follow-up stun from Kaka. SCCC looking to bring down the damage, and Faith with the glimpse will secure the kill. There was also a brew split, so they might have had that boulder toss, but they find a freebie in their jungle on one of the Secret cores.
Well, that's a pretty big kill to lose Ace like that without having the Exorcism used. So they smoke up, they're rotating back in towards that Secret side. Up onto the high ground. Might just end up
nice
being a
scan.
vision smoke though. Yeah, very nicely done. They had some vision inside the jungle too, so they might have just caught a glimpses to like those movements, and then suddenly those heroes don't show up anywhere else, so they're kind of like, yeah, they're definitely prepping for a smoke. But likewise, they're going to go over a Newbee ward by their own Ancients, keeping an eye on those stacks. They've been prepping for the Gyrocopter. And if they see any smokes in the inventories of Secret, they're going to be aware of what they're up to too. But for now, they'll just settle on a push into the bot.
Yeah, you know, almost a little surprised that Newbee are taking this early game so slow, maybe waiting for that Yule's Scepter on the Death Prophet to be completed. That tends to be the item that opens up her team fight a lot more. But if you've got Exorcism, the Static Storm, as well as the Brew Split, I don't really see too many reasons not to take a fight if you're Newbee. Yeah.
I mean, the timing was pretty damn perfect, though. I mean, the smoke was almost exactly when Exorcism was up, right?
That's
so
true.
had they found that fight, they need it there, and then once the smoke doesn't work, they just instantly say, okay, back into the fight, back into some towers. So everything going according to plan. And there's no really, like, how do you respond to Secret, right? You can't just force into that tower up top. There could be a TP.
Yeah, Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster now. Good positioning from KP, kind of hiding in the tree line, hoping that somebody might come to defend and then they could mount the defense, but seems all right for now. It's just a free tier 1. Newbee open up the map just a little bit more. The mid, the last tier 1 standing now for Secret.
The puppy in here, bravely warding level 6. As most Raid Kings, not quite spending any points into his ulti yet. Doesn't want to waste it on a bad death. But two very nice wards. One on the low ground. Almost never see that one too. But just getting that vision, hoping it's not countered out by a sentry.
All right, slow and steady as we go here. Trent, Death Prophet still very happily seated at the top of the net worth.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that next Exorcism. We're into the little bit of a mid-game.
Yeah, you know, kind of makes
Chilling
sense.
out.
Both teams, reminiscent of last game, focusing very much on their stacks, their mid-game economy, realizing how important it is for the Gyrocopter and the Luna, respectively, to get that early farm and be able to accelerate into the mid-game around those core items. I think just like last match, BKB is going to be one of the core, key items in terms of when these team fights start to erupt, as we now see the Mask of Madness secured onto Mugi.
Jeez, I'd say though, mid one getting a lot of the space, as well as Fado, when it comes to Secret, and Ace is just left in the dust. Like, he's stuck just going phase into BKB. I mean, he's below the Brewmaster right now. Way down there on net worth. And I guess someone always gets sacked for Yapsor in a lot of the games. And in this case, it's going to be Ace.
Yep.
But if you get that Agnum Scepter, though, man, that item is so good on Skywrath Mage.
Yeah. You know, a wise man once said that it's impossible for everyone to have a good game every single match, right, Trent? Sometimes you got to play from behind and open up those possibilities for your teammates. But here we go. It is Secret with a smoke headed towards the top lane. Right now, Newbee with a pretty good position under their own tier 2 tower.
Look at those wards, too. Like, this is 3 heavy wards committed in that area for Secret. And, well, maybe it's going to pay off here.
Well, it looked like a good rotation from Newbee, but maybe they'll get caught. Still, look at SCCC. Nobody's showing on the map. He knows, hey, guys, there could be some trickery afoot. They smoke, I think, out of vision of Secret. They're going to start to back up, but there we go. It's KP in the front lines. That'll be the Brew split. Silence on to the Razor as Faith on the low ground drops the Static Storm kinetic field. Ace gets isolated. He'll be brought down first. Fado with a double damage and a Ravage. Will he even have the opening to use it? Boulder Toss slowing him down. Now
nice
the Spirit
Siphon. From the wind.
He's going to get glimpsed back, and this Tide will have no opportunity to use a good Ravage. Yapsor caught by a Yule Scepter, but able to back up in time.
It should be okay.
Blink forward from KP has the spit,
Another
and now
Yule's
he's going to get caught by the Yules. The ult comes from Yapsor, but it's a 3-0 here, Trent. 11-8 as Newbee get a lot out of this. They'll now bump into Puppey. The Wraith King does opt to skill the ultimate. He was holding until there, but he's coming back to life. Mid one is respawn, going in onto SCCC, but Newbee have some reinforcements. Ace also back in the fray. KP will be the first victim. So many low HP heroes from Newbee, but they are starting to spread. Mid one able to finish off Faith, and Secret do find the recovery kills they were looking for.
Yeah, they really needed that. A great fight played by KP right until the end there, honestly. Like, using that Storm Panda so well, but they got a bit greedy. And pressed their luck a little there. That big dive towards the Yapsor.
Yeah, it's still early game, Trent. Those respawn timers are very low, and you got to keep that in mind when you try to follow up these pickoffs. Mugi probably going to spend some time in the jungle, and I guess recovery farm might be a bit extreme, but he is falling behind the Gyrocopter, really wants to get that Dragonlance up. Certainly makes things easier for Luna in these big engagements.
It's certainly not last game, right?
No.
He was out of control.
Yeah, definitely feels like the Luna is a lot more manageable, but the opportunity cost there is it seems like this Death Prophet is the one that's found that early space, and she's still a big threat. We'll see Secret trying to pressure this tier 2 in the mid. Fado with an invisibility rune does have a Ravage, connects on 4. It's a great setup. They get the kill on Faith as now Kakat tries to roll away. The Tide absorbs it, but they don't get much more than the position 5 of Newbee.
Yeah, but they know there's not a lot of catch right now. The Brew ulti's still down for 20 seconds. That might be enough to save this tower.
Exorcism also down for 20. Eclipse as well. All of those ultimates coming up right around the same time. Seems Secret are relatively aware of the timings, and they are going to retreat just as Newbee have the option to fight.
Yeah, they have quite the possibilities there. 3 spells currently with that 140-ish second cooldown.
Yeah. But also something that Secret can play around.
Well, for now, they'll do so, and the full pipe done for SCCC. So more of the 5-man dopes coming out here from Newbee. And if they can get some aggressive positioning towards Secret side of the map, all of these wards that Secret have placed down could be a bit useless for them, honestly, as well. Faith's going to take care of one right there, while also getting a stack. What a player.
The what's come to be the standard build on the Gyrocopter.
That one.
Copter coming from
Prowler,
mid one.
dude.
Sorry?
Prowler got in the way. Come on, man.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys, you know, you just can't stack camp with those dudes. But yeah, you're right. It's FaZe Drums BKB. Wow.
What a
hero.
surprise.
Gyrocopter. You guys seen this one yet?
Yep, and also
it's something.
Razor doing basically the same build. Ixnay on the drums for now, but same general idea. We talked about how important magic immunity will be this game, and Secret are certainly prioritizing.
Yeah, speaking of same builds, Puppey builds Helm on every hero, so this will be no exception as the creep checks it out there. The old Colbo Foreman trying to offer a drink, but they're not having any of them.
Well, now around the Roche pit, Newbee
crack the
committed
whip,
pretty
baby.
hard. The glimpse, that's going to keep Faith alive for now, but Roche falling very quickly. He will go down. Aegis of the Immortal picked up by Mugi, and now it's going to be Ace that's isolated by the Cyclone. He will get obliterated as he comes back down to Earth, trading 1 for 1, but Newbee obviously finding the advantage, still with the Aegis in tow.
Kaka. He was close.
Yeah, looking for that pick on the Gyrocopter. not quite going to get it.
Thought he was going for a TP in the trees, but it was just a long run there from mid one, so he will survive. Just farming in towards that BKB as well would have been a very costly death.
Yeah,
But
Moogie
yeah, they've secured the Aegis then.
moving into a nice triple stack to follow up that Roche, so accelerating his farm by a nice margin. Still strikingly even though, Trent. Feels reminiscent to last game in the way that the laning stage and mid-game that felt like kind of a wash, and it could just come down to one big team fight as both sides have so much of it.
And even with just brown boots, Puppy, he's rocking around 392 thanks to Kobold. This guy really doesn't know how to put you into shape, man.
Wow.
Need this guy.
It's pretty good. I like that we're seeing teams prioritize the Helm of the Dominator a bit more now. It seemed like sort of a forgotten about item for a while, but if used properly, it can provide quite a bit of value.
I don't even know if you can even say teams. It feels like it's just Puppy. It's just players. And, you know, any hero, he's going for it. Kaga with a cute little blink steal there. But
nice.
it works out for Fada. He bottles a haste rune instead, so thank you, he says.
KP jumping forward. There's the glimpse back onto mid one. He does not have the BKB done yet. Tries the TP, but
this
Boogie
is
with
painful.
the interrupt. Call down, going to slow him down a little bit, but Kaka with that final kick to secure the kill. It's a dead gyrocopter, and Newbee get one more.
Yeah, and that's a hasted tide. It's so tempting. You're thinking, is there a chance? Can we do something here? But he's also been seen under vision, so they'll be very cautious about their positioning around Moogie.
Such a good time to kill that gyrocopter, Trent.
They're going to try and cancel TPs here too, possibly.
200 gold off the BKB, so that really slows down his ability to jump into these team fights.
That's who just link and run away. Neither wants to fight. They don't know what they're going for.
Hey, but Kaka's here, and he is hungry for a battle. Magnetize comes out. There was a Skywrath mage nearby. But who's actually going to get who? Ace trying to move through the tree line. He's got a lot of stick charges here, but Faith wraps around the other way, and there is no survival for Ace's Razor.
Yeah, you see Ace staying and tanking the death just shows exactly who the core is this game. It's not the Razor. It's Razor support. We got support Razor and support Wraith King. Yapzor slowly making his way into the core role. If he can get there. He's had a very hard time getting towards the Aghanim Scepter after such a strong start. 6-1-4. But Sky, you know, he definitely farms heroes better than neutrals.
Yeah, definitely a hero that feels really momentum-based, can certainly fall off if you take a few missteps. Do you like the build coming out from Yapzor here? The Brown Boots Kaya we talked about, but do you think Ags is the next choice?
It's a hell of an item. It's one of the best Aghanims, honestly. It's can you imagine we got like a silence not only on the Brewmaster, but onto one of these secondary heroes, like just the Earth Spirit or something. Like this is a hero that doesn't build anything up against silence.
That's
and
true.
he just gets that like crazy silence on top of him. The fight's over. 6 seconds of no Earth Spirit. Like you have to be so clutch and perfect every single engagement with the hero.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But,
I guess
it's expensive.
Force Staff is an item that came to mind, maybe a slightly more economical choice, something that Yapzor will guaranteed be able to get. And speaking of Yapzor, he's going to get caught in the mid lane, and this will slow down that Aghanim Scepter even more as he gets picked off.
Yeah, Puppy's trying a little bit of a wraparound play, but again, all of this vision, Newbee are just almost like baiting. Like they're playing like they have no idea where the heroes in Secret are. They've had this ward up here for so long on that high ground, but they're not really reacting in those like little movements from Secret. They only are going to take an engagement when they know 100% that's going to be good for them.
Yeah, these little pickoffs starting to add up. You look at that gold graph, and this is the biggest lead we've seen yet this game.
Oh, look at this.
As Newbee grabbed the momentum.
Following Puppy when he goes for these deep wards.
Yeah, Kaka
And now he's
stalking him
blocked.
out. Faith going to be right nearby, and now the Death Prophet rotating in, trying to TP. They'll have the interrupt. Nowhere for Puppy to go. They'll be able to kill him once, and hopefully twice. Reincarnation. Will there be reinforcements on the way? Secret have some heroes in the bottom lane, but not going to dive past that tier 2. Puppy in very deep. Trying to finish off Kaka. If he could have made that a 1-for-1, would have been huge, but alas, it does not happen.
Well, I mean, they did trade for a tower deny mid, as mid one took out their own tier 2 tower. So
Well,
they got something out of that Puppy death.
Yes, something, but very little. What does Moogie have on the way here? Is that a BKB for him? Yep, it sure is. So now Magic Immunity on the Luna, and
Right.
Death Prophet is very close, actually has it, just needs to grab it from the base. So this could be a time where Newbee look to take a fight. Even the Brewmaster now, he's just a recipe away.
They're going to lose the Aegis, though, so just in time to get the BKB, but not in time to actually make some good use of this Aegis. Plus, they already got that tier 2 denied, so they won't be at the bottom one.
It feels like we're almost in like a BKB meta. It's been a recurring theme of a lot of our casts is, hey, they've got the BKB, this is the time to fight. But you look at Secret's lineup, BKB is pretty much the hard counter to Skywrath and Tide across the board, right?
Yep, definitely. And
I mean, this is the game.
And again, that problem with the Tidehunter and why Disruptor is such a big problem is that he doesn't buy BKB. And so if he gets caught out any of these times by Faith or even just like launched up in the air by KP, it's very irritating. You know, you can't do anything through the whole fight.
Also, Ace has now got his magic immunity secured. So with that, Secret will smoke up in the top lane.
Well read by Newbee, though.
Except the Razor making this rotation. And yeah, it doesn't look like they'll
maybe
catch
not.
anything.
They see SCCC.
Still a hard initiation to make. They do bump into Kaka as he turns the wrong way. Pops the Shadow Amulet. They don't have detection, but Yapzor, he's got an ultimate that works right through it.
It's actually a good thing he used that because the silence on the Tidehunter could have created a problem if he just wasn't able to anchor smash and there's a blink dagger silent from Kaka and you look like fools. So Yapzor just guarantees it.
Yep. Only a support down, though, and he'll be up momentarily as Newbee start moving into enemy territory to invade this dire jungle.
This game, Mugi not feeling quite as bold. Just going to go back for his Hurricane Pike, try and keep his distance away from the Razor. Hopping outside of, like, Ravage AoE, as well as just, like, Call Down, stuff like that. Nice little game to keep his space. So Secret, they haven't fallen that far behind. They're only 3 kills down, but it certainly felt like the vast majority of these engagements in the past like 10 minutes or so, very Newbee favored. They're the ones who are pushing across the map, setting everything up. It's more so like responses from Secret, and generally they haven't been going all too well. Yeah. Lots of green diamonds up top there for old Newbee. Spells ready to go.
It looks like Secret may have smoked up to try to make this rotation. The top tier 2 tower falls before
ward,
anything comes of it. And that's just more gold going the way of Newbee. This, I doubtful this smoke will turn into much.
Feels so much like last game where they were just struggling to find that big play with Phoenix and Earthshaker. This time it's just kind of like Tide and Gyro, I guess, trying to like sync up, get something done.
Yeah, looking for Faith perhaps, but great movements. He stays under his tower, heads to the western side of the tree line instead of walking into that danger zone where they don't have vision. BKB, though, is used by the Death Prophet. Mugi going to head back up to the high ground. Ace with his magic immunity. The Bruce split has already come out and will head towards the back line. Great BKB from Mugi. He pops the ultimate, destroys Puppey. The reincarnation will come, and Ace falls second. Fata, he can't get off this Ravage. The Static Storm is so on point. The Tide dies, and now Puppey will get chased down. It's 3 dead for Secret, and soon to be 4. Yapzor left all alone. Will be brought down.
Mid one has
now
to
Mid
fight.
One comes back in with the BKB on. Double damage Kaka. These Yule Scepters are doing so much work. Mugi able, or pardon me, the Gyrocopter able to TP out, but it is 4 down here, Trent, and a huge team fight for Newbee once more.
Can you imagine if Ace just had 1 item, you know? He stole so much damage during that fight. He had nothing but a BKB, and he almost took down Mugi. It was getting close.
Yeah.
But he's a little too poor, and he is the anti-Luna hero that they've got right now.
That was a heartbreaker for Fata, though. I mean, Faith with the perfect Static Storm right there.
Yeah.
He saw that Tide do everything he could to try to get out of it and get off that Ravage to maybe reset things, but just not a possibility.
And the 10-second BKB from Mugi. You had the 10-second BKB from SCCC. That fight was basically doomed from the start, but Secret had to try and make something happen here, because if they're even better set. Like, that was a fight where they essentially caught Newbee out.
Yeah, we got a replay here where we can take a look. So SCCC,
they're so far spread.
Yeah, he pops the BKB first, and it looks like, oh no, that's such an early magic immunity, but it pulls Ace into kind of this awful position. Mugi stops the stun from Puppey, as you can see that slow projectile coming. He gets so low, but there's just no follow-up damage. Fata didn't want to use the Ravage there because he knew it wouldn't have hit Mugi anyway, and now Puppey just gets left behind.
Excellent play on the eastern side of that, too. You saw Kaka rolling and steal a DD as Mid One was chugging away over towards it. There could have been a chance maybe he had a little bit of cleanup, too, but Kaka once again with the saves.
Yeah, you know, like if that Gyrocopter gets the double damage there, you think, well, maybe there's some potential to at least get a couple counter kills before the BKB TP home.
Yeah.
But in the end, not possible. And looking at that net worth breakdown, it's starting to feel a little bit more like last game, this Luna pulling ahead and still this Death Prophet at the top of the charts. That's going to be a Butterfly coming out next for Mugi. And I think the Death Prophet is working on a Shiva's Guard, and she's damn close.
Okay, I like this choice from Ace, though. You know, he's struggling with the items, so he just says, you know, I got to get a Blade Mail. That's pretty much my only option here. If I can just, like, force myself onto Luna and she just has to try and kill me, then I have some way to put some damage back into her. And,
yeah.
Now, of course, she's got the armor. She's got 18 now at this point, so it's a bit rough, but she's not invincible.
It's definitely Value Town for the Razor. Very easy build-up, gives you some reliable stats. Very much an item that is greater than the sum of its parts since it lacks a recipe. I think it's absolutely the right choice here. Newbee now in the Roche pit. Roche falling pretty quickly, and Secret not in a position to contest this. Second Roshan will yield cheese and Aegis for Newbee.
You can see they had some theories. They thought that there was a smoke coming through there or something, but there was nobody. So, little scan used just to make sure it's fine. And we'll have that Aegis and cheese as you discussed. So, SCCC, he gets the cheese as you'd expect, and Luna with the old Aegis.
Absolutely. Death Prophet, not a good Aegis carrier, but she loves herself some Gouda there, Trent.
Well, mid one, he was looking at that butterfly for quite a while. But he's gone for the Aghanims. He knows, if we win this game, she's probably going to be a while. So, guys, what do you think? I'm going for it.
So we've seen Gyros do this. We saw at least 1 or 2 in the group stage where they pivot into the Aghanim Scepter after getting that drum BKB. Definitely has some potential, right? Lifesteal from the side gunner will keep you alive while you're stunned. Once you get the Maelstrom, it's double chain lightning procs potentially. So it is an item with a lot of merit. Also gives you a lot of stats, so just makes him more survivable.
Yeah,
in
but
these
as
team
you
fights,
said,
right?
it needs other stuff. Like Lifesteal, well, you got to get your Satanic. You want a little Lifesteal side gun, you want that. You a little extra damage with the Maelstrom, the Mjolnir, well, you got to buy that after too. And that's 4,200 gold you're investing.
Yeah.
It's okay, though, for farming when you just have the Aghanims. It's basically like a DD. It's just pumping out these right clicks onto the nearby neutrals and everything. So
it's definitely not a bad idea, but this does open up a window where it could be punished from Newbee. The next 5 to 10 minutes, this Gyrocopter might feel a little bit underwhelming in terms of damage output, and this is a time when Newbee will be able to strike. Right as that butterfly is coming out from Luna, he's going to be pretty darn far away from that MKB.
Yeah, that is not going to feel good.
Puppey now in the bottom lane, initiated on, Lucent Beam glimpse, he'll drop a stun and try to run, but into the kinetic field we go. Mid one's gonna rotate in, they will finish off the reincarnation, but will it cost them? Nice use of the Hurricane Pike, and now the BKB from Boogie stops the potential ultimate from Fada, and now they're gonna dive deep. They will finish off Puppey's Wraith King. Glimpse back will be BKB'd, but SCCC with the Exorcism on, finds Fada in the tree line. He'll have a Ravage here, but won't be able to use it. Another beautiful Static Storm kinetic field from Faith. Newbee now heading up towards the high round. Both heroes dead, have buyback, so Secret can hold.
Mugi's just breaking the mold, man. He did the same thing last game. All these times you're like, okay, you're supposed to die right now.
Look how fast it fell, though. Both buybacks come. They still get the tier 3, and now the reinitiation. Puppey, this could be a dieback. He's down, out of the game for however long. BKB's still on. Ace trying to do what he can. There's the Ravage from Fada. Connects on a few. Will it be enough? Mugi standing his ground as SCCC comes back down to earth. There's the Aegis as Ace gets low and we see the Brew Split come. Gyrocopter, no magic immunity. He'll fall next. No buyback there. And now
Ace has none either.
He's in some trouble. Could this be the end of Secret here, Trent?
Falling down. I mean, Fada, he's just blinking away. Yapzor, they're out of those racks. They got nothing left in the tank right now. SCCC beyond godlike right now. 16-0-6.
He is just completely zoning the 2 remaining survivors of Secret, and Newbee know these heroes are dead without buyback. As we're seeing this chase onto Yapzor, this Luna is laying into that mid lane of barracks, finishing off the tier 3. Yapzor not even able to TP home as he gets interrupted by the Yule Scepter. Newbee 1 step away from Megas now. They head to the top lane, the tier 3 falling quickly. That's
there it is.
It's GG, and Secret take an early exodus.
Mugi, I mean, everyone on Newbee, honestly, playing so well. Kaka, again, throughout this tournament, I think he's been probably the standout player for me on Newbee. Just so many great plays on the Sand King and now on this Earth Spirit. But Mugi, the way he's played these fights in the 2 games on the Luna, it's just not what you expect. You're supposed to die there with that Aegis. What are you doing popping your BKB? That's not right. Secret's expecting you to go down and then they all run away. And Mugi says, no, I got some allies here. I'm at 20% HP. I'll pop BKB. Let's go.
Absolutely. Controlled aggression, Trent. Not hyper-aggression, but controlled aggression. They knew their limits. They pushed it to the limit. And as you mentioned, SCCC 16-0-7 on the Death Prophet. A flawless game from him.
Absolutely. Slayed his lane, slayed his game. I mean, poor Ace too on that Razor. That was Gyro and Razor. I hear those heroes are pretty popular right now. And there's a Luna. She's up here.
Razor is out and Luna is in, baby. She is now undefeated in this tournament. And give it up for Newbee, moving on to the semifinals. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Kind of shocking to see this series be a relatively quick 2-0.
Yep.
One of the ones that we thought might be going to the limit, so to speak.
Yeah, you knew that these are 2 of the strongest teams currently here at the tournament. So coming in the tournament, I think most people probably going to favor Secret. I think that's a fair thing to say, but Newbee just completely outplayed them, outclassed them.
Yeah.
and easy outmaneuvers, man. That early game, these Luna drafts, they worked out pretty damn well.
So far, so good, and we'll see how things continue to change. That's our second series for the day. There's still one more coming up next, but for now, we're back to the analysts.
Indeed we are. Thank you very much, boys. Great commentary in our second quarter-final of the day. It's an all-Chinese affair as far as our first semi-final is concerned. Vici J Thunder will take on the team they didn't want to face in the semi-finals. It is their brothers from China, of course, in the form of Newbee, after a very impressive 2-0 victory over the former major champions Team Secret. Cap and Jack back at the panel with their thoughts. Cap, it's a tremendous performance over the whole series from Newbee.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like they were always in control. It seemed like even in that first game, again, they may be losing fights, but they definitely felt like they were still accomplishing what they were supposed to with their lineup. They were still slowing down the game. And in this one, they actually just kind of met Team Secret, who tried this very aggressive lineup with the Gyrocopter and Racer, and they just kept meeting them with this Death Prophet and Luna and actually outing them in so many of these team fights really well.
I mean, the last 3 games, Jack, have shown us that Luna looks really good at the moment. How has it only just started?
Yeah, a hero that does a lot of things. I mean, so how did they try to punish it this game? By throwing a tri-lane. And of course, Luna is not the most durable hero. But then, as long as she can keep the deaths down, she could just end up retreating into the jungle and catching up. So while that was happening, that meant that the Earth Spirit was able to help a little bit with mid. SCCC was able to really exploit his matchup this game against the Gyrocopter, take all their towers. And then, again, going back to Secret, a lot of times I think their drafts, while they do have a lot of synergy, tend to be a bit greedy or slower.
Yeah.
In this case, if the Wraith King, this is a rarefied position who can both go into the jungle and provide that kind of scaling for your cores later on and be a frontliner. There's basically no other 5 in the game who fits those requirements. But that time that he spent there farming, he's not able to really help initiate or fight. Skywrath falls off a little bit, and all of a sudden they have to make these very desperate smoke plays to get anything done against Newbee. So yeah, very well executed game from them.
And on the Dire side, we saw that Newbee, they had the Dire triangle that they were playing very well with. In the Luna, they also had double Ancient stacks going on. Here, same thing actually. They had the Ancient stack quite well for the Luna. And so when they're able to play this sort of defensive style where Newbee's just kind of letting the enemy team crash into them when it comes to trying to push objectives, they've got this better team fight. They say, you come at us, we're going to take that team fight, we're probably going to win it, and if you don't come at us, we're constantly going to be farming with our Luna, who's definitely going to be outpacing your Gyrocopter. So again, it felt like kind of the same game plan, both game 1 and game 2, maybe a little bit more combat from game 2 from the side of Newbee, a little bit more standard stand up and fight for yourself situation, but I think the crux of it was the fact that they always had this Luna able to use the Ancients, and Secret just appears to not be a team comfortable enough to be able to push the pace, take objectives, and take away the map control that would prevent the Luna from getting in that place in the first part.
Yeah, a disappointing result, Jack, obviously from Secret's point of view, but Newbee have bounced back, looked good in Genting, then didn't look good so good last week, and now they look good again. It's this whole roller coaster that they take their fans on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I talked about SCCC and kind of the fans' criticism of him coming in. I mean, he continues to prove that one of the most important things as a player is to be versatile and adaptable. And so in this situation, he's the one who has to carry the tempo of the team. He's the one who has to take objectives, take that solo lane and kind of snowball it into map control for his team instead of just being that kind of hero that comes in and cleans up and deals the damage. And he played his role wonderfully this game. And I think throughout this series, he showed that he can be a very different player from what his strengths were before.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mugi, in turn, is also taking the steps, right? Like, he used to be sort of that, he was the very stable, space-creating safe laner for you, and now he is showing that he's also the stable, hard carry so many times.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but he's only had to play Luna twice. And it looked good in both games.
Yeah,
It's not good.
Hey, he also had Ancient stacks to be able to work off of
Sure.
Yep.
And he was set up a lot. I mean, the boys on the casting desk, they kind of made the point that it's hard to pick out an MVP because all 5 have played really well across both series. But who do you pick out?
I'm kind of leaning towards Kaka here. I agree that SEC probably deserves an MVP performance in maybe one of those games, but Kaka was outstanding for both, and I think really stepped up in this series.
Okay, let's take a look at the scoreboard and show you how things shook down in game number 2. Newbee dominant yet again, and SCCC, look at that, 16-0-7. A much flashier game from him this time round, as Jack rightly pointed out, he was more the sacrificial lamb in game number 1. This time round, Mugi not taking the highlights, but a 4-1-12 game from him, and KP in on 17 of the kills. Kaka 1, 5, and 19. 19 kills of the 24 they picked up. On the other side of things, Ace having a very tough time on that Razor, 0, 7, and 4. Don't see many games like that from him these days.
Yeah, this is a tough game. I'd give SCCC the MVP for this one. He had a pretty tough task. He had to take advantage of the openings he had to take towers and not get caught, not give that up. A couple times you saw him very narrowly dodge some smoke ganks out of Secret. So, very nice job there. Also, the itemization I think was perfect. Prevented him from being bursted down obviously as easily. The BKB able to turn several fights. So he played quite well this game. Some other things too, like I like the Wraith King being run in the tri-lane actually by Secret, because if you run an aggressive tri-lane with this hero, he's able to go to the neutral camp and then just clear that, and so that takes away a little bit less from the lane and applies tower pressure. Again, these are rare things that a 5 position usually doesn't provide. But one of the downsides of that is that it took away from the Tide's experience as well. And Tide is a hero who does excel with levels. Again, you become more durable, you can farm a bit more, you get that Ravage up sooner, and it really felt that they kind of needed that, because once he was behind, other cores were not doing great, then they had no way of doing anything except these desperate 5-man smokes.
Okay, yeah, but I'm going to get more from both of you in just a moment, but I'm hearing SCCC is right now ready with Sir Action Slacks, and let's hear from the man himself, and perhaps Sir Action Slacks can find out whether Newbee are looking forward to playing VGJ Thunder in the semi-finals.
I am here with SCCC. Give it up. Come on. Woo. There they are. SC, I was watching that game. It looked effortless. I am sorry to say, it looked easy to me. Was it hard to you? Was that a hard series?
我之前看这比赛，尤其是第2场的话，就打得非常棒嘛，而且也很轻松。所以的话，你们自己打起来的话，是不是实际上有看得起来这么简单，还是说打起来的话还是比较紧张的？
紧张的话倒是没有吧，就是打得比较认真，就比较想赢吧。
We wasn't really nervous about it, but we really just play our heart and we really want to win. That's it.
All right, all right. Now, you 2-0'd Team Secret last time. You 2-0'd them again at this event. Do you feel like you have their number?
你们之前的话也是这个2-0，在之前比赛2-0秘密嘛，然后这次的话又是做到了。然后你们觉得你们打秘密的话，为什么打得这么棒？
可能这次发挥比较好吧。上一次的话，因为就是那个法塔生病了嘛，好像是，所以就运气好吧。
Last time Fata was ill, so I think it's pretty lucky. But this time I think we just do what we did best. So yeah, this time it feels better.
All right, all right. Now, we saw that you guys, have your perfume business out on the side. If you had to sell one thing that was anything related, what would you sell? What would be the SCC brand?
就之前的话，那个宣传片嘛，也是比较搞笑。然后你们就是卖香水，然后现在如果让你选的话，可能除了卖香水之外，你是不是在生活里面有些其他特别想去做的事情？
我想开一家火锅店吧。
Hot pot restaurant.
Oh, delicious. All right. I got some bad news for you. They were afraid to face you, and now you've got to do it. You got to go against VGJ. Any words to them before your series? Any apologies before the reckoning comes?
之前的话就是 VG 也说他们不大想在后面的比赛里面碰到你，但是现在的话你们已经下一轮的话就要遇见了。你对这个下场比赛的对手的话有什么想说的吗？
就海洋哥哥加油。
Let's go, young god.
All right, so it is. Well, we will see that match coming up very shortly, but one more time, let's give it up for SCCC, and we will see them again at the Bucharest Major.
You can always rely on Sir Action Slacks to use the hard-hitting journalistic integrity questions, can't you? Good stuff, Jake. Thank you very much. SCCC, of course, through to the semi-finals with Newbee. They will face VGJ Thunder, who won earlier on today. We've got our third quarterfinal coming up next. Let's just wrap up things on this particular match and get some final thoughts from our panel members. Cap, disappointing from Secret because they always come into these with the will that they can win. They always think they can win every tournament, no matter whether it's a minor, a major, big, small, it doesn't matter what it is. They want to win every single tournament. So how do they reflect back on this? Because it's kind of tricky going out at this stage.
Yeah, I do feel like Team Secret are trying to address some playstyle issues, and I think they are trying to speed up their game quite considerably, and they just aren't really on the same page. They haven't quite figured out what some of the other teams are able to accomplish. So, I think they should just look at this as a work in progress.
And I guess, Jack, they don't have to panic too much. They've got a lot of points in the DPC. It's very unlikely they won't qualify for TI, even if they don't go on a particularly good run for the next couple of months, I guess. So, as Cap said, they can carry on, they can keep working away, improving.
Yeah, that's certainly the good news. You know that they're going to be a force for the rest of the season, and I think the pace of this patcher has been a little bit less forgiving to how they want to play, whether focusing on synergy, having a slower start, and trying to have everything come together at some point later in the game. They've been punished a bit for that, but they'll go back to the drawing board, and they always have ideas, and they always find unique ways to address these problems.
Yes, they do indeed. Thank you very much, gents. We've got a break coming up right now, but don't go too far away because you will not want to miss our next quarterfinal. It is the final game of today, the final series of today. We've got one more quarterfinal tomorrow, of course, so don't forget, Virtus Pro and Optic Gaming will be here in the arena tomorrow. But tonight, we're going to end with a match for all matches. It is Liquid versus Evil Geniuses, and the game that they played in the group stages was absolutely monster-like. It was brilliant to watch and really enjoyable for the fans that tuned in. I hope we get something similar, but this time it's a best of 3. Can EG confirm their credentials as potential champions? We will find out very shortly.